Hey guys, the candidates tournament has ended and we have the winner, the 17-year-old Gukesh D from India, who has beaten the record of the youngest ever World Chess Championship contender. At just 17 years old, he stands the chance to become the youngest ever World Chess Champion, which was his childhood dream.
What do you want to do when you grow up?
I want to become the youngest world chess champion.
Today, I, together with my kitten, by the way, drop a comment if you like him, I will try to figure out what this means for the future of chess. And I sincerely believe that this means that the new era is coming to chess, not just because of gukesh. So stay tuned, I'll explain everything. But first, let's just take in what just happened. We've had probably the most dramatic finish of the candidates tournament ever. One round prior to its end, 4 contestants had a real chance to win the whole event. Fabi, Nepo, Hikaru, and of course Gukesh, who had a half a point lead over the 3 other players. And what made the situation even more unique is the fact that they were all playing each other. And there was this heartbreaking game between Fabi and Nepo. Both of them needed a win. A draw for any of them would be as bad as a loss, basically. And they were both fighting, trying to find the chances, but Nepomniachtchi was losing throughout most of the game, and Fabi could have converted, but Nepo defended like a beast, and Fabi made several mistakes in time trouble, and it was heartbreaking at the end when Fabi offered Nepo a draw, and you can see what happened there. This has really left a deep impression on me. But what's most impressive is the level of play of one Gukesh Domaraju, because not only has he just won the candidates and set a new world record, but also he has played like a computer in this event. I've spoken to some GMs that I personally know about this level, and everybody is stunned. Nobody expected Gukesh to win, but even less did they expect him to play impeccable chess. He played in the second half of the candidates tournament. He played better than Magnus Carlsen in his best tournaments. Really, he played, you know the term average centipawn loss. It's a term that's used for measuring the accuracy of play of a chess player. And 1 centipawn equals 1/100th of a pawn, so 1% of a pawn. And even with the top grandmasters of modern era who play very accurate chess, usually it's on average between 10 and 20 centipawns lost when they play classical chess. In the first half of the candidates, Gukesh played at 15 average centipawn lost, which is a decent result for a top grandmaster. But during the second half, he had just 5 centipawns lost on average, which is just unbelievable. He really played like a computer, and nobody could have defeated him under such circumstances, and nobody realistically stood the chance to prove that he is a better player than Gukesh in this tournament. Maybe with some luck, Fabi or Hikaru or Jan could have won the event, but still Gukesh would be the one who played the best chess in the event. He just outclassed everyone while 17. What does this mean for the future of chess? It means that the generation that's been discussed in many chess podcasts by many experts, that this generation is soon coming, it will change chess, blah, blah, blah. This generation has arrived. And this generation not only has it arrived, but it will now dictate how chess develops. Gukesh will most likely become the next world chess champion, because currently Dean Lejeune, who is the reigning world chess champion, is in terrible shape. He's losing all his tournaments. He does not play chess on the level to compete with Dean. Frankly, he would lose to any of the top contenders at these candidates. Both Nepo and Hikaru would have defeated him, and Fabi would have destroyed him. So Dean doesn't stand a chance against Gukesh. I think his chances to retain the title are close to zero. And most of the GMs I know say the same thing. And all the GMs that I know and that I've spoken to about this, they all agree with me on this. So Gukesh will become the world chess champion at 18 probably. He's now 17, but the match will occur later in this year and he will turn 18. So that will be the world record. He will have achieved his childhood dream. But it's not just one Gukesh D who is showing this impressive chess computer-like skill. No, there are other guys. So you've probably heard about Pragnananda Rameshbabu, aka Prag, who is 18 currently, who also competed in this year's candidates tournament. And for some time, he retained chances to fight for the first place. But in a couple of critical games against Hikaru Nakamura and against Fabiano Caruana, he lost and got eliminated from this fight. Still, he finished with a decent score, and he is one of the wave of these new talents that will dictate the rules. But still, he's shown a decent performance, and he's one of this new wave of young talents from India. But there is another person I would like you to remember and think about while thinking about the future of chess. So let me tell you a little story. In 2022, there was a chess Olympiad held in Chennai, India. India actually had not one, but two teams competing in this Olympiad. One consisted of more experienced guys, players of like 30 plus years old. And the second team consisted of juniors, who at that time, probably all or most of them were under 18. Some of them were even 16, 17. So Gukesh was on board 1. Pragnananda Rameshbabu was, I think, on board 2 or 3. And a couple of other talented juniors were also featured. And they managed to take the second place, if I'm not mistaken. And Gukesh won the gold medal for the best performance on the first board. So the first board is the board where you play the best players from all other countries. So Gukesh played against, for example, while the Indian junior team played against the US team, which was considered the favorite. Gukesh played against, I think, Fabiano Caruana, and he defeated Fabi. Fabi had a bad year that year, but still, it was an impressive achievement from Gukesh. And Gukesh started that event with 8 out of 8 points on the first board. This is unheard of. This is the performance of 3,000 plus rated player, potentially. But later on, he lost a couple of games, and he lost a critical game to one Nodirbek Abdusatorov, the name that I want you to bear in mind while thinking about the future of chess. Nodirbek is also a junior. I believe he's under 20. I believe he's 19 currently, if I'm not mistaken. And he was the youngest ever world rapid chess champion. In 2021, he took the world rapid crown. And he was competing with Magnus Carlsen, Jan Nepomniachtchi, or most other top players were also competing. This was held in Warsaw, I think. And Nodirbek took the first place, which was a sensation. So Nodirbek is the upcoming talent from Uzbekistan, and the Uzbek team in 2022 won the Chess Olympiad. it was also a very young team of talented prodigies from Uzbekistan. In some respect, the story of Uzbek chess reminds me of the story of Indian chess. Also, they had a world chess champion, FIDE world chess champion, Rustam Kasimdzhanov. By the way, he used to be a second of Fabi for some time, so it's intertwined here. So Rustam became a so-called FIDE world chess champion, so not the classical chess champion, but it was a knockout system. It's a long story, but still, it's a prestigious title. He won that title in the beginning of 2000s, I think 2003 or 4, something like that. And after that, there was a wave of chess popularity, a chess boom in Uzbekistan. And the guys who were inspired by Rustam Kasimdzhanov are now competing for a place in the world elite in chess. So in the same way, something similar happened in India because of Vishay Anand, who became not only the first ever Indian grandmaster, but also the first ever Indian world chess champion and one of the greatest chess players to ever have lived. A mentor, an idol, an icon for chess players worldwide, including especially Indian chess players. So he inspired Gukesh, Prag, and many others, and he helps them, as far as I know, provide some, not maybe coaching, but at least shares some insights of his career, and he has impressive experience, and of course he is a treasure trove of chess knowledge. So another person who is potentially the next world chess champion, maybe after Gukesh, is Nodirbek Abdusatorov. I think that he has the best chance out of this generation. Maybe I'm wrong. Obviously, not all my forecasts are always correct, but we will see. Nodirbek is currently number 5 in the world rankings, so he is even higher rated than Gukesh. He's very young. He also is playing very often like a machine. He outcalculates his opponents. He has great endgame prowess, which is rare for a player of such a young age. For example, he has outplayed Magnus Carlsen in a queen endgame in Tata Steel a couple of years ago. So that was a very impressive game. I recommend you check it out. So Nodirbek is very strong, and he wasn't in the candidates because he didn't win the tournaments required to gain the spot in the candidates, but he will definitely be in the next candidates in 2026 probably. So his time will come, I think. So next World Chess Championship match, I predict that it will be Gukesh versus Abdusatorov. Mark my words. Maybe in 2 years I will come back to this video and we will make a YouTube shorts saying that I predicted everything. But it's not hard to predict this. I think many chess experts would fully agree with me. Abdusatorov is incredibly strong, and there are other players who could reach a similar 2750 plus level. So Prag, obviously, also Arjun Erigaisi, who is also from India, who is now also in top 10 in the world. I think he is on number 9. This guy is a very impressive example of how hard work pays off. He's also a junior, but he's not as maybe overhyped as Gukesh or Prag. So not everyone knows him in the chess community, but he's, I think, practically equally strong as those guys, maybe even could become stronger later. And he is always participating in open tournaments worldwide. He's participating in tournaments like in remote places of the earth that most of people never went to. Similarly to guys like me, for example. I'm just a candidate master, but sometimes I go to some tournaments in Kazakhstan, in other Asian countries, where it's not too far to travel. And Arjun just goes to all those random open tournaments and wins a decent portion of them, and gains rating, which is crazy because most top players don't play open tournaments because you have to play lower rated opponents, and sometimes it's difficult to win against them. They may be underrated. Some underrated kids who have the rating of 2000, but actually they play on the level of 2400 or 2500, and you have to win against them, because otherwise if you just make a draw you lose a bunch of rating points. And Arjun competes in such events and manages to win very many of them and manages to gain rating in them. This is very impressive. So Arjun is another person to follow and another contender for future fight for the chess crown. And there are other guys like that. For example, Vincent Keimer from Germany. He's also, I think, 19. And he's very good. He's also in top 15, top 20 in the world. And he is on the rise. And all those guys are on the rise. They have not reached their prime yet. They will reach their prime when they are like 27, maybe 30 something years old. They will gain more experience, more chess understanding, not just brilliant calculation skills, but understanding, positional understanding of the game. This is something that comes with experience. They will have gained that by 2030, for example. And then they will be unstoppable. And for the time being, everybody says Magnus Carlsen is the GOAT, the greatest ever player in the history of chess, but this may soon change. I wouldn't be surprised if Gukesh becomes the next GOAT, for example, or Abdusatorov, or somebody else. And this is really exciting. I see that the game that I've loved for so many years, that I've played for so many years since my childhood, is constantly evolving. And I'm not afraid that something bad happens to chess. I'm just afraid that we will all have this Neuralink brain implants and it will be impossible to combat cheating. But other than that, I have no fear. I'm very confident that the future of chess is bright, thanks to such young prodigies. So congrats to Gukesh and to everyone who supported him. I think it's a great story arc, great victory for him. I'm hoping to see more fights between the younger and the older generations. Although I'm afraid that the older generation's time has passed. Hikaru is already 36, Jan and Fabi are also 30 plus years old. Their prime maybe is now, maybe it has already passed. And those guys will only get stronger, the younger guys. They will only get stronger, they will only get more experienced, and the old guard, so to say, will only get older. And I don't think that they will improve as substantially as the young guys. So I'd love to see the old guys fight for the title as well, but I really doubt that it's realistic. Maybe you disagree with me. Write your opinion in the comments and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.